Welcome back to the channel. It is LFC Plavi here, and I just want to address the issue about Mo Salah's interview after a game against Leeds United. And this is a similar incident to what happened last season when Liverpool were in negotiations with Mo Salah to try and extend his contract. We don't know whether the negotiations had started before he granted the interview and said he was more out than in. We don't know, but it looked like that was the case. There hadn't been an offer yet. So he used the media to force the club to come to the table. Now today, a similar incident has happened. He's been benched 3 times in a row in Liverpool games, and today being the latest one. And in today's game, there were 4 changes made by the manager in the second half, and Mo Salah did not have the opportunity to come on and play the game. So he's granted an interview and basically said that what the coach has done in recent weeks or days is that he's ignored him. There hasn't been a good relationship like it was last season between him and the manager, and he feels like someone doesn't want him in the club anymore, and he feels betrayed. He feels that he's being thrown under the bus, and all Liverpool's problems this season are being blamed on him. I just want to say, first of all, that let's not make too much out of this. Let's not make more than needs to be made out of this interview that Mo Salah has granted. I believe that at the end of the day, the club would have to solve this issue behind closed doors. This is not something that should be discussed in public. I know the manager is going to face questions about this interview in his pre-match press conference for the Inter Milan game in the Champions League. He's going to face questions about it, but as usual, he's not going to give anything to the media or to us as fans. For me, what happens in the dressing room stays in the dressing room, just like Soboslai said after the game against Leeds United. And I think that is how this should be handled. If for some reason Arne Slot didn't have any conversation with Mo Salah before this run of being put on the substitute bench, I think the conversation should be had now. At the same time, I believe that Mo Salah should be the best person to understand why he's being put on the bench. He should know why he's on the bench. Of course, there are other players in the team who we can argue very easily don't deserve a start in this team, but they do start. So the question would be, why only Mo Salah? Why only Mo Salah? But the manager is the manager, and if there is any issue that Salah has, I think he should have gone to the manager instead of coming to the press. He should have gone to the manager. At the end of the day, if it continues like this and this issue is not solved, what it means is that one of them would need to leave the club. Would it be Mo Salah? Would it be Slot? The results are not going as we all want. It's been 2 losses and 1 win in our last 3 games. 2 draws and 1 win in our last 3 games. So the manager is still under pressure, massive pressure. But I would be surprised, to be honest. I would be surprised if the manager is sacked in the foreseeable future. By foreseeable, I mean in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Unless we keep losing and we get to the point where there is no coming back. We see no glimpse of coming back. But I would argue that in our last 3 games, we've seen glimpses of getting back to some sort of form. The reason why I say that is that we haven't lost a game in our last 3 games. And that is progress since we started losing consecutively. In our last 3 games, we haven't lost. Before this particular 3 games of not losing, we had only gone 2 games without losing. So for me, this is some sort of improvement. The question is, can it continue? Can we go on and not lose games of football? For me, that is very important right now, to not lose, even if we can't win. If you can't win, then we shouldn't lose it. If we can keep not losing games, then eventually I think it is going to get better. And the reason why I think it's going to get better is that this has happened before. As I've always said in previous videos, under Jurgen Klopp, after we won the league, we played poorly for the entire September to December. It wasn't good at all. Even January. It was somewhere in February that we picked up and finished third in that season. We finished third in that season. And I think it wasn't consecutive losses like we are experiencing this season, but it was as bad. It was almost as bad. And we tended to push the blame to injuries. But I beg to differ. That season, it wasn't about the injuries. The injuries made it worse, I accept. But the decline started well before the injuries, because Aston Villa plumped us 7-0 or 7-1 or whatever the score was, 7-something, before Virgil van Dijk got his injury, before Matip got his injury, and before all our centre-backs got their injuries in that season. We were plumped. We were walloped. 7 goals. So for me, the slump in that season wasn't because of the injuries. The decline in form started way before the injuries hit the squad. And the injuries made it worse. But we bounced back, and we can bounce back from this. So I would be very, very surprised if the coach is sacked based on this result, because the club knows exactly what is going on. They have more information than we do. I do not have all the information. We only watch we only watch social media and mainstream media to try and guess what is going on. We don't have all the information. They have all the information. And I'll be very, very surprised if they sack the coach based on the information they have. So I think this issue can be easily solved. The coach should speak to the players. He should speak to Mo Salah. And at the end of the day, there should be understanding of why Mo Salah is on the bench and the plan going forward. And I think this is something that it is easily solvable. Let's not blow it out of proportion. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like the video. Also subscribe if you are new here. You never walk alone. See you.